Senator from Louisiana.
Mr. President, I rise today to offer my support for confirming Louisiana native Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court of the United States. Deciding whether or not to confirm a justice to the highest court in the land is among the most important duties and privileges that a senator has. We must consider the qualifications of the nominee that the President puts forward and determine a nominee's fitness to serve. In this case, President Donald Trump made a terrific selection in Amy Coney Barrett. The Senate will vote on her confirmation in the coming days, and I will proudly cast my vote to confirm. And here's why. Judge Barrett is incredibly qualified to serve on the court. She graduated summa cum laude from Notre Dame Law School, clerk for the late Supreme Court Justice Anton Scalia, and spent 15 years in academia, shaping a new generation of legal minds. And according to her students, she was not an ideologue, but rather she would listen and take their thoughts and process them and bring them to a better knowledge of the law. With that, she's been universally praised by her former students and ultimately served on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit. Her record and experience shows that she is ready for the Supreme Court. Now, there is some home state pride. Judge Barrett was raised in Metairie, Louisiana, and a graduate of St. Mary's Dominican High School. When I go back there, I'll see folks with the pen that she would have received when she graduated, and they're very proud to have attended the same school, perhaps to have been in the same class. As a fellow Louisianian, I'm proud that one of our own will become a Supreme Court justice, and she'll be only the second person from Louisiana to serve on the court, which for my state makes the confirmation historic. But it is more than Louisiana rooting for Amy Coney Barrett. She will serve our country well. I'll also say that I think it fitting that a woman fills the seat that opened after Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing. Although she and I had our differences in political and judicial philosophy, she should be recognized for her service and lifelong pursuit of ensuring that women have a seat at the table. We thank the legacy of Justice Ginsburg and her service to the United States. And one of the many things that is notable for Justice Ginsburg, I will emphasize, is that she broadened the perspective of SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, as they treated the law. I think Judge Barrett does the same. She'll be the first mother of school-aged children to serve on the court. She and her husband, Jesse, are raising 7 children, 2 of whom were adopted from Haiti, and the youngest who has Down syndrome. If there is a mom, or a working mom or not, who wonders if her perspective is ever spoken to when cases are considered before the Supreme Court, a Justice Barrett will bring that perspective to the court. Finally, I want to thank Judge Barrett for her willingness to serve. To accept a nomination to the Supreme Court is sadly to accept ruthless attacks from partisans seeking to score political points. Her nomination was no different. She has been repeatedly attacked for being a practicing Catholic. She has every right to live her faith, and no one in public service should be expected to cast aside deeply held religious convictions to satisfy an angry mob fabricating reasons to say no. Thank you, Judge Barrett, for defending your, and by extension, all of our religious liberty. And I think the balance and the grace that she exhibited during a very difficult 2 days of being before the committee, but in her life in general, I think is testimony to the depth by which she considers the best of her faith. That said, her political enemies and some in the press intentionally mischaracterized many of her statements, twisting them into new ways to attack her, again fabricating reasons to say no. Yet Judge Barrett handled each attack with grace and dignity. During her hearings, she displayed time and again that she has the skills, the demeanor, and the experience to serve on the Supreme Court. On Monday, I will proudly cast my vote to confirm Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. She will serve our country well, and she will serve the future generations which will be influenced by her decisions on the Supreme Court well. I encourage my colleagues to put politics aside and to do the same. Thank you, and I yield back.